China's defense minister says war with the US would be an unbearable disaster. Let's dive into the details, shall we? China's defense minister on Sunday conceded that a war between China and the United States would be an unbearable disaster for the world and stressed the need for both sides to improve relations that are at a record low. The comments from General Li Shangfu, his first since becoming defense minister in March, came during the Shangri-La Dialogue, a gathering of some of the world's top defense officials in Singapore. History has proven time and again that both China and the United States will benefit from cooperation and lose from confrontation, he said. China seeks to develop a new type of major country relationship with the United States. As for the U.S. side, it needs to act with sincerity, match its words with deeds, and take concrete actions together with China to stabilize the relations and prevent further deterioration. I always think it's interesting how, like, the Chinese side always says stuff like this. Like, China sent a weather balloon over the United States, and then the United States shot it down, and like, what? Why'd they shoot it down? It was just like a weather balloon. Was it though? So that's interesting. And then they just blame the U.S. for a few months. They don't blame themselves for sending it over the United States. Interesting. Still, Lee defended China for sailing a warship across the path of an American destroyer and Canadian frigate transiting the Taiwan Strait and called so-called freedom of navigation patrols a provocation to China. Lee said China doesn't have any problems with the innocent passage, but that we must prevent attempts that try to use those freedom of navigation patrols, that innocent passage, to exercise hegemony of navigation. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told the same forum Saturday that Washington would not flinch in the face of bullying or coercion from China and would continue regularly sailing through and flying over the Taiwan Strait and South China Sea to emphasize they are international waters, countering Beijing's sweeping territorial claims. It's funny, they just keep battling. China's like, oh, we should be friends. Then Lloyd Austin's like, we're not going to flinch to what you do. He doesn't also agree. Oh, shouldn't we kind of try to be friends? I mean, don't get me wrong. We got to get our manufacturing and everything out of China and everything. But I mean, if we're neutral parties towards each other, the world, it would be definitely a better place. Let's continue. That same day, a U.S. guided missile destroyer and a Canadian frigate were intercepted by a Chinese warship in the strait dividing the self-governed island of Taiwan, which Beijing claims as its own, and mainland China. The Chinese vessel overtook the American ship and then veered across its bow at a distance of 150 yards in an unsafe manner, according to the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. Yeah, and then they do stuff like this. I don't know if that defense minister is exactly talking about this exactly, because I don't know if he has, like, the decisions. It's probably just normal military people, right? I doubt he's giving these orders, but it is interesting. The leader's saying one thing and then the military's doing another. The incident came less than 2 weeks after the U.S. has said a Chinese J-16 fighter jet intercepted a U.S. Air Force reconnaissance aircraft over the South China Sea, flying directly in front of the plane's nose. Those and previous incidents have raised concerns about a possible accident occurring that could lead to an escalation between the two nations at a time when tensions are already high. Lee has been under American sanctions that are part of a broad package of measures against Russia, but predate its invasion of Ukraine. The sanctions imposed in 2018 over Lee's involvement in China's purchase of combat aircraft and anti-aircraft missiles from Moscow. So they sanctioned him for buying Russian weapons. How interesting. The U.S. has noted that since 2021, China has declined or failed to respond to more than a dozen requests from the U.S. Defense Department to talk with senior leaders, as well as multiple requests for standing dialogues and working level arrangements. Yeah, I mean, I just think all this that he was saying is probably nonsense. I mean, I agree with what he's saying, but do you think that he actually believes it? No. Like I said, it's like that spy balloon they sent over the United States. By accident or on purpose, who knows what happened there. But the fact of the matter that the U.S. shot it down and then they're like, hey, why would you do that? It's just like, even if it was a weather balloon, it's your mistake that did it. and then they blame the United States for it. They won't talk about COVID. They don't take responsibility for that. China's all about like saving face, right? So that's what they're doing. They're like, hey, we're gonna make it look good at this conference, but they're better than Lloyd Austin. Lloyd Austin's like, we're not gonna flinch to you. He should be like, okay, yeah, I mean, I agree, we should work together, but this type of stuff that you're doing, you should stop doing it if you actually want relations. No, he just takes his hardened stance. It's like, not a very good guy for relationship building, I would say, Lloyd Austin. But I mean, I kind of get what he's saying. China was trying to provoke him with the plane and everything. But I don't know if that defense minister, like I said, was giving those direct orders or if it was like the military. It's probably military commanders who he doesn't really have direct control over everything they do, right? But who knows? Again, he might just be saying all this, and they're gonna keep going towards war and everything. But I mean, that's any country that can afford it pretty much does this, right? They always try to build up their war capabilities. But yeah, hopefully the U.S. and China never end up going to war because it would be a pretty big disaster, not just for both countries, but for the world. The economy, the dollar would crash, right? Definitely the Chinese economy would crash if they couldn't send absolutely anything to the United States. That would be insane. But that is just my opinion. What is your opinion on this story? Please let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily news updates, hit that notification bell, and share this video to spread the news. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.